Greetings, guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette, and this is my channel, Evolve with Monette. I'm so happy to have you joining me today, and I want to get into the topic, which was requested actually that I speak about in the comments. I had someone write in and ask me about a situation where people are cheating. And she said, I have my intuitive nudges. I watched your video on spiritual hives. I believe that that was information that was very useful to me, but I don't necessarily have any proof. And what I wanted to tell you, I believe her name is Sabrina. What I wanted to tell you, Sabrina, is that if you start to feel like you need to become a detective in your relationship, the answer is your intuitive nudges, your spiritual hives, which means hearing intuitively vicious or varying energy that's being sent your way. That is correct. They are cheating, or they are being unfaithful, or they're being emotionally, uh, on some level, there is a level of deception. The reason I say this is because we do not start to just we do not start to feel those things by no reason. Usually a relationship is predicated on trust, and that means that we naturally trust our partners. But if they start to step outside of the realm of what's normal or comfortable, we will know it. So those intuitive nudges are helping you to understand, Sabrina, that something's going on. Now, our angels are very wise, and they will not always allow us to see everything until we're ready to see it, because it could be very devastating or crushing or whatever it could be to you and in your situation. They know the threshold that you're at. They know what you're capable of handling. And so they drop you those breadcrumbs so that you can understand. Now, what I will recommend against strongly is going into lower vibration. Because if someone is in a situation where they're being unfaithful, they're already existing in a lower vibration. And more than likely, depending on whatever their issues, triggers, or demons are, they're wanting to pull you into that to elicit a response. Now, there are some very clever cheaters that literally do not want to be found out, and there are some that are sloppy and not so clever. But what I will tell you is that if you feel like you have to look through a phone, look through an email, do any of these things that we all have at some point in our life done, then you are subscribing to the lower nature. And I know you would say, but that's not fair, Monette. They're cheating on me. All I'm trying to do is find out. Usually, when clients call me, they already know. I can pull some cards, I can take a look, I can intuitively give them a reading, but they already know what's going on. And so I want you to be very aware of that. You already know, you know here, my love. You know here. You know here in the deepest part of your heart chakra. You know it in your gut by sacral chakra. It's affecting your self esteem. You know it in your root chakra. You feel off balance. You feel destabilized. You feel as though you don't have a home and you don't feel safe. You know it in all of these areas. Crown chakra, the cerebral knowledge that this is not a situation that is supporting you. Throat chakra, you want to say something, you want to get communication, but you feel closed off. Do you see how that registers through our whole body? And while it is tempting to lean into that and think I could satisfy some need I have here. If you're the person that's having this done to you and you feel any of those things, that you need to start checking phones and checking into things and double checking and investigating and following and stalking and showing up, you are in a position where you are being manipulated emotionally, but your angels are saying you already know. Sometimes we think we want to see it, but we really don't. And the reason is some of us can be in denial. That is a real thing. Some of us can be in a place where we are truly caught off guard. That is also a real thing. But if you're writing me, Sabrina, and for the clients that reach out and call me, we are definitely already aware as humans by our spiritual hives that are pinging and going off that we are in a situation that is potentially toxic and destructive. I feel like a lot of people could save themselves so much heartache if they just escaped the situation before they had to see the visual evidence. Because, see, that's the stuff you replay in your head. there is a brilliant scene from the movie Closer, which stars Clive Owen, Julia Roberts, Natalie Portman, and Jude Law. Jude Law and Clive Owen, two of my favorite actors. So I really love this movie, and it was adapted by a British play, I do believe, into a screenplay, which then became the movie, which casted these mega stars. And one of the scenes is just captivating to me about the way and why we don't want to know what's going on. He comes in and he's discovered that his wife is cheating, or his lady is cheating, and Julia Roberts. So this is a scene between Clive Owen and Julia Roberts, and he comes in and he asks her, and he's kind of following her around the house. They're having a fight as she's walking away from him, very metaphorical for this cheating and the discovery of it. And that movie is a great watch, but it's kind of like a mind melt there. There's a lot of like switching of partners and going back and forth. But in this one moment, he's frustrated, he's hurt, and he says, did you sleep with him? I'm going to censor this for YouTube. Did you sleep with him? Did you bang him? He says, censored still. And she says, yes. And he asked her, did they do another sex act? Did you do this with him? And she says, yes. And then he keeps pushing. And this is where your angels are trying to keep you from. Do not go where angels fear to tread. If they don't reveal it to you and you don't see the photographic evidence, or you don't see whatever, do not put yourself in the position to try to uncover or pull off the mask of the person who is being deceptive. You are being protected, dear ones. You are being protected so that you can go on and not be jaded, and you can love again, even through the pain in that moment. Your angels are so kindly and lovingly protecting you. But in that scene, he says, did you do this sex act with him? And she says, yes, I did. And he says, and what did he taste like? And she says, like you, but only sweeter. And he says, thank you. Now you can like blankety blank off and you can die. That is the lower vibration, guys. Did she mean that? Maybe. I mean, this is speculation. It's a play. It's fiction. But we know of people that have had these kind of exchanges. Maybe you have had exchanges like that upon the discovery of an infidelity that rocked your world. Did you want to be in that lower vibration with that person? I don't think that you did, because what happens is you lose your power. You lose your power when you allow that person to take you into, am I better? Are they better? What's happening? How did you do it? Where did you do it? And you will replay that in your mind. I had a very wise friend. Sorry, guys, I have like a hair here. I had a very wise friend who I once went through a situation. This is many, many years ago, where someone wrote me an email and they were very upset and they were trying to sabotage a situation, a new relationship that I was getting into. And they were kind of jealous and upset about it, and they wrote me an email and they sent it to the person I was seeing, because that person I had hired as my secretary, so she had access to all of this stuff, and they sent it to me and they sent it to somebody else. And I remember calling my friend up and I said to her, Tara, I just got this. In fact, she was helping me that morning. She was at my house with her then boyfriend, and we were like reorganizing my garage. And I took them to breakfast afterwards to say thank you. And that's when the email came in while we were sitting at the table. And she said to me, she put her hand on mine when I went to go open it to read it to her, because the person that I was seeing called me and was like, I just got this crazy email from this girl, and it sounds like they're ranting to a child, and I'm worried. Is everything okay? And she had kind of like outed my feelings for him when we were in that preliminary stage of what are we doing and all of that. And I remember my friend putting her hand on my hand while I sat at the breakfast table, and she was like, don't read it. Don't read it. Now listen, I was in my 20s, I think, late 20s when that happened. And not reading it just seemed like something you can do. You know the drama of your 20s, ladies. And I remember thinking, I'm going to read this. I am going to read this. And she said, don't read it. You will forever replay the words that she says in your head over and over, whether they're true, whether they're false. You'll never unknow that. And she wasn't wrong. I did not read it. It was one of the first times I chose to go higher in regards to drama, the drama of the 20s, and not lower. I never read it. The guy that I was seeing did read it, and he did parrot some of the things, and I stopped him. He didn't read it verbatim, but he kind of was like, this is what she said, the gist of it. And I was like, I'm good. And I never read that letter. And you know what? I have gone on with my life and never wondered what was in it. I deleted it immediately. It didn't matter to me because whatever she was going to say didn't matter. What was she going to say? She was in her lower vibrational self and she wanted to injure. And if I would have ingested that word, it would have injured me. And so this is why I come back full circle to, if you have to become a detective and you have to start searching and seeing things that you don't need to see, they're already cheating, my loves. They're already being unfaithful. You know it instantaneously. You know it. I have clocked and counted things in my life that have happened where I've known years before it ever came to fruition. And you'd say, why would you stay and why would you be in that? Well, because we sometimes gaslight ourselves. And then later, if we stay long enough, they will try to gaslight us. So don't second guess yourself. You know what you know. You're strong. You're aware. You're not stupid. So you won't be blindsided when it happens. I'm not saying that you should just welcome cheatation, as Wendy Williams would say, in your life. Not a word, guys. I'm not saying you should just welcome that into your life. But if you find yourself wanting to pick up that phone, then search deeper. There could be some trust issues that you have. And it's a normal thing, guys, too. This is a normal energy to feel about things because you feel betrayed and you want to figure it out. You want to get to the bottom of it. But that dialogue, that conversation that Clive and Julia had is why you don't ask those questions. You don't want those answers because here's the thing, guys. For the most part, you will be revealed all of the truth when you're ready to handle it. We as humans want to accelerate things and we want to rush it and do it prematurely. The universe in its infinite wisdom has exactly the right timing and plan for us to understand what was going on, but it's going to fortify us first. It's going to bring us successes first. It's going to extract us from the relationship first if you were deciding to leave that relationship, Sabrina. And then it's going to say, oh, this is what was going on. And it might come from the horse's mouth, but it won't be until you have had a chance to be enrobed in the cloak of protection and success and whatever else from the universe. So when you hear it, you'll be like, oh, that's too bad. That's too bad. Wow, that's amazing. Wow, that's information I didn't know, or maybe I didn't need to know. But look at this beautiful cloak that I have, and look at this resilience I've built up, and look at this tolerance. I didn't need to know your devious ways. I already knew. I knew it all. I could have written a book about it, but I don't need to sink to your level to pick up that or to investigate or to do anything. If you are connected spiritually, your angels will let you know everything you need to know. I've had moments in my life where I've been woken up with dreams, clear visions, scenarios that literally played themselves out right in front of my face. And they said, remember when we gave you this dream? Remember when we showed you these snakes? Remember when we, and they said, we showed you the picture and it was filtered. It was filtered in the soft light of heaven. It was filtered in the soft, loving embrace of the universe. So that way it wasn't jarring and jagged. Imagine watching SVU, and you know how sometimes when you're watching that show, we've become desensitized to it. But at first it was like, wow, I'm seeing so much death and blood. Do you want to see the murderous scene of the betrayal? Not until you're ready, if it is going to serve your highest good. In some of my situations, I am a teacher, so I get revelations about things because I'm going to teach about it. But even 10, 15 years ago, whatever situation I went through, my angels so graciously always protected me from seeing the bloody scene. I never wanted to see the demons, and even when they showed them to me, they've filtered it and made sure that I can ingest it properly. So do yourself a favor, guys. Do not put yourself in that position where you're going to manifest endless heartache for yourself. If you want to be able to go forward in love again, you don't always need to uncover every rock, because the creepy crawlies will always come out to sun themselves. Always. All right, guys, that is my word for you, Miss Sabrina. I am so sorry you're going through this time. It is an overwhelming thing. I cannot imagine, though I can because we've all been there at some points in our life. I want you to take back your power, resist the temptation, and ask your angels to show you when your fella is putting you into a higher or a lower vibration, trying to pull you into drama and chaos that he's creating with this third party situation. You deserve better, my love. You will have better, my love, and you don't need to become Sherlock Holmes to know the answer. It's already in your spirit. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I want you to come back and join me next time, and we will continue to evolve together.